This show is about your mental health. While it's supported by the pillars of positivity and hope, if you find yourself in crisis, please reach out for help. In many communities in both the United States and Canada, you can dial 211 to be connected to mental health and crisis services in your region. While it may seem like it at times, you are not alone. Evening, everybody. It is Sunday evening. This is the Happy Molecule Extra. The Happy Molecule itself is the podcast, which will be uploaded, of course, again, ready for you to listen to and download and subscribe to Tuesday morning. And you will have noticed in the intro that we had the Christmas bells. I am trying to do my part in getting into the Christmas spirit. It's much more difficult this year, as you know. I'm not a big fan of Christmas, never have been. But I think it's important that we acknowledge if we have a depression around Christmas, if we have a dislike for Christmas, there's got to be a reason for that. And so we're going to work together as a community. In fact, we are going to do it all this month. So for December, living with depression at Christmas, good advice, good company, on the Happy Molecule podcast and here on the Happy Molecule Extra. We have some good advice and some experts and some tips and some fun, but perhaps one of the most important things that we have is family. We have each other here because a lot of us are not going to be able to see family at Christmas, this Christmas especially. So stay with me. I'm going to try and put a few more comments up. Here we go. All right. Family is in the house. Yes, Patricia, indeed it is. The decorations. There you go. It's amazing what you can do at the dollar store, isn't it? It's amazing what you can do at the dollar store. And Shirley says, I'm not a fan either. Okay. Then we have to work together this month to try and make amends with Christmas. To try and look at it sort of the same way that we did when we were kids. That excitement, that fun. I hope it was fun and exciting for you as a kid. But as a kid, if it was not, therein lies the reason perhaps why you don't like it now. But you know what? It is what it is. And we are coming into the Christmas season. It is going to be a very difficult season for a lot of people. There are restrictions in place because of COVID. And that means a lot of family are not going to see each other. A lot of friends aren't going to see each other. We're not going to have the parties we had. The Santa Claus parade didn't happen this year. Cavalcade of Lights here in Toronto didn't happen. So I guess, and the Macy's parade didn't happen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It goes on and on and on. So it's going to be tough. But you know what it's going to do? It's going to force us to perhaps work harder to find the real meaning of Christmas, to find that spirit once again. And like I said, we're going to be doing that all this month here on the Happy Molecule Extra, which is the Facebook Live show, and on the Happy Molecule podcast. And this week's guest is the CEO of the Canadian Association for Mental Health, Margaret Eaton.
I feel a little bit that because of COVID-19, maybe we could have lowered expectations. We're trying to celebrate in a pandemic. In Toronto, we can't go shopping at our favorite stores anymore. So is there a way that we can make Christmas smaller and take off some of that pressure, recognizing that the most important thing is that we stay healthy right now, not that we try to aspire to the Christmas of 2019 that we're just not going to experience in 2020. So can we take this opportunity then to set realistic expectations for what we can do for ourselves and our family at this time?
All right, so I'm going to try and get a few more comments into here as well. And hello and greetings from Erie, Pennsylvania. You don't have to call me Mr. F, William. You can call me Sir if you want. I like that. Mr. F. Wasn't that from Arrested Developments? Mr. F. Was it F? Parker, what was it? Do you remember from Arrested Development? This is no. I can't. I think it was. There's Calvin. Wondering where you were, Calvin. And you know what? It's so great too because I recognize so many of these people. Anybody new here, by the way? Anybody new? What we ask for you to do, if you are, it's your first time here, and everybody has to do it. You send me $20. I don't know why. No, you don't. You don't. If you are new here, you go to the comments and you say, "Hello, I'm new here." And you are indoctrinated into our family, our cult, if you will. So please, if you are new here, I want you to put it down in the comments and watch what happens when you do that. If you are new here, I encourage you as well that if you watch all the time and are not putting down comments, and there's a reason for that, if you're too shy, try tonight. Be a part of the conversation. Join in the conversation. I haven't seen. Let's see. There's Donna. I was going to say I haven't seen Donna yet, and there's okay. Oh, there's Marie. Okay, see, we've got a newbie here. There's Marie, and Phyllis is a newbie here, and Goretti. Hope I said that correct. And Chris. Oh, we got lots of new folks here. So. I would like everybody to welcome them all aboard. The whole idea of the Happy Molecule is we're a family. We're on a journey together. A lot of us live with mental health issues, with depression, or we live with someone who does have a mental health issue. So we have good advice. We have good people, and we also have a good cause that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. But first, I want to talk a little bit more about our mental health at Christmas time. And I know that I don't know about you, but usually there's a day in November. And for me, it was about 2 weeks ago. And you hear that first Christmas song as you're going through the mall. And I tense up and I get anxious and I get stressed. And it just goes down from there. I find the stress that surrounds Christmas. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Because the only stress is really cooking a meal, and I've tried to take the stress out of that as well by cooking much simpler meals. But the stress of the commercialization, the demands to buy gifts, the anxiety, the times, it really takes its toll on me, and it makes me dislike Christmas, which is very sad. Because all the reasons that I dislike Christmas are all the things it is not about when it comes right down to it. If you are going to be shopping this year, I would really hope that you're going to be supporting your local merchants. If you can, do it online and support them. Most of them are really getting into being online now. So search out something from some of the smaller merchants. I know as well that Amazon offers some idea now to help you buy from local merchants. So wherever you can, try and find out someone local. So let's get a little bit, and we're going to do more of this on the podcast that's going to be uploaded later on this week. Talk a little bit about what happens with this depression and this mental health issues around Christmas time. A lot of it has to do with you feeling socially isolated or some sort of isolated, whether it's self-inflicted or whether it's another reason. If you've moved away, family and friends aren't around you. Now, we all know, of course, with COVID-19 and the restrictions and the quarantines that, that's going to cause a lot of problems this Christmas. So we have to recognize that. And one of the first things, and we talk about this quite often, one of the first things that we need to do if we feel we have depression, anxiety, stress, and I'm talking a little bit more overboard than the normal stress. The first thing we need to do always is to stop, breathe, and try and recognize it. Try and figure out, why don't you like Christmas? Why do you get tense around this time of year? Everyone's going to have some different answers. There's no one answer. So what is it? And if you can, write it down. This is important because a lot of our anxieties and our stresses roll around in our head, and we're never, we just let it happen. We don't know why we're feeling stress or anxiety. We just let it happen. It's like a bad smell in your house. If you smelled right now, something that smelled like burning plastic or something like that, would you just let it happen? Would you just sit there and say, I smell of burning plastic? No, you would get up and you would investigate and you would find it. You would find the source of that smell. And if it's something that needs to be taken care of, let's say it's a wire that's sparking or something like that, then you'll turn off the power or you'll unplug it or you'll do something to rectify the situation. You won't just sit there and accept the bad smell. So in your stresses and your anxieties, if you just feel stressed and you don't know why you feel stressed and why you feel anxious, then get up, investigate it. Try and find out why. And then let's do something about it. And there are things that we can do about it. I know it's a tough time for many people, especially if you're going to be alone and especially if you have a financial situation that isn't really good and you feel you still have to buy presents. And I know you want to make sure your kids have a great Christmas. We have to be as realistic as we possibly can. We have to think about that. Spending money we don't have, unfortunately, has caused so many problems at Christmas time. Maybe this year with fewer people going around and fewer office parties, things like that, hopefully maybe we'll be spending a little bit less, but don't spend the money you don't have. Those bills do come in January. And there's a demand on us, isn't there? There's a demand that you be happy. There is a demand you be merry. There is a be happy. All that crap you hear from Christmas carols. Peace and joy and goodwill. Okay, that's great. But if you're not feeling it, and yet you still have these demands on you, that just increases the stress and the anxiety, doesn't it? It really, really does. And that's another reason to stop and slow down. You can only do what you can do. Don't do what people can't expect from you. So if you're going to feel good at Christmas and you're going to be happy about Christmas, I want you to feel happy for your reasons, not because a commercial told you to. Too many of us do that. And whatever we can do to pass that on to our kids will help as well. Most definitely help them when they get to be adults. We're going to talk about more things on the podcast that's coming up, like I say, later on this week. And you just saw a bit of Margaret Eaton, who is the CEO of CAMH, the Canadian Association of Mental Health. And she has some great advice, some great ideas, and we have the Me 3 that happens in there as well. If you don't know what the Me 3 is, the Me 3 is in every single podcast, and it's 3 very simple steps that you can do to improve your mental health. And we have one for our guests every single week. So some of the things that you can actually do, I've already mentioned, stopping, taking a breath. Christmas can be a wonderful time of year. It can be a time of reflection. It can be a time of giving and of sharing and of helping. It is a time, it's one of the few times, the thing I love the most about Christmas, this is what I do like about Christmas. Out of any other time of the year, it is the time when in the West we are most still. In any nation that celebrates Christmas, it is that one time that all the stores close, or most of the stores close. And it's sad to see stores opening on Boxing Day again. I wish we could just take a week. But it's that Christmas Day when most things are closed, so a lot of people don't have to go to work. I enjoy that piece. I enjoy that time. Going out for a walk Christmas Day is the most peaceful thing. It is so quiet. There's not as much traffic. There's no smog. So there's that. And that's what we should be concentrating on. Recognize what you can control and what you can't control. So if you're going to sit and you're going to start thinking about, the anxiety and the stress, figure out what it is. And if you can't control it, let it go. Okay? Let it go. I know that there was a lot of angst this week because of a restaurant owner in the west part of Toronto that opened up in defiance of health guidelines and health orders, claiming that COVID was a hoax and that the deaths and sicknesses were a hoax and highly over-exaggerated. And he was shut down. However, he created quite a stir. He created quite a following, so much so that they raised tens of thousands of dollars in a GoFundMe account for his legal fees. This guy isn't a doctor. He has no training whatsoever in epidemiology or in health, anything. He just has listened to a lot of conspiracy theories on Facebook and YouTube. And there's a lot of them out there, believe me. But they're not doctors either. And if you find a doctor who is, you always find this one doctor trying to make a name for himself or who's being paid by some group organization that would benefit from a lie being put out there. But anyway, it created a lot of angst. It created a lot of frustration because we've tried so hard to stay segregated and miss seeing loved ones, grandkids. And yet this guy, and I'm trying not to call him a name, decides that it's all hooey and he's going to open up and doesn't care who he ends up killing. And I'm saying that. I'm not being sensational. He says, "Oh, you know what? We're not going to pass this on." Well, you know what? The most dangerous people out there right now are the people who carry this virus but don't have any symptoms from it. And they're most dangerous because they feel fine. They don't take extra precautions in quarantining themselves or staying put because they don't know they have it. And that's fine. I understand that. But by not taking proper precautions, the mask, et cetera, they do pass it on to people who can pass it on to someone else, who could end up passing it on to their grandmother or grandfather or someone who is vulnerable. And a lot of them die. And you may not even know it. You can be sitting in this rib place in Etobicoke and feeling fine and feeling good. You're sticking it to the man, and you know what? You're standing up for your rights. And then you go home and you think a month later nothing happened. Well, you know what? My bet is that either you or somebody in that restaurant was responsible for at least one death. That's the way it goes. That is what is happening. So again, I'm not being sensational, by the way. But this caused a lot of angst. But can I control it? The most I can do is use my platform here to try and admonish this person and hope that he sees the light and perhaps takes the money that was raised for his legal fees and maybe donates it to people who actually need it this time of year, especially this time of year. There are people in food bank lines. There are people who won't be able to give gifts to their kids this Christmas. They're having trouble meeting the rent. And yet we can find tens of thousands of dollars to support some guy with a conspiracy theory. And I hope that I hope one day he just says, you know what? This was stupid. This was silly. I'm going to donate all this money to a charity. But can you control him? I went on a long diatribe there, didn't I? I went complete left turn. Can you control him? No, you can't. Can you control those around him if they're not loved ones or not friends of yours? Can you do anything? No, you can't. So don't get upset and anxious and stressed about it, saying, oh, this is terrible because I'm trying hard and this person isn't. It makes me angry. You can't control it. Poof, let it go. If you can't control something, when you find you're stressed out about something and anxiety, then let it go. Just let it go. What can you control? You can control your feelings and your mood. Now, there are some times when it's overwhelming and we need therapy, and I can't say enough about finding therapy and about the medication. If you have a doctor who feels you should be on medication, take it for now, okay? If you feel that you want to get off it, that's good, but you need to stabilize, and there is medication out there. And talk to your pharmacist. If it's too strong, it's causing side effects, there are so many things they can do to temper it. The medication I take is, what's the name of my medication? Parker forced me to write down all my medications the other day. I can't remember what that. Anyway, it has a lot of different side effects. So my doctor and the pharmacist worked to balance things out. I have no problem with it right now, and it does help keep me level. I don't want it to control me. I don't want it to alter me. I just want it to help me stay a little bit level and allow me to adjust my serotonin levels and be there. So I can control my mood with the proper tools. There are some people who can't, okay? Those are the exceptions, but those are the people who we need to help even more. But you are your own mental health advocate. And if you find yourself out of control, you find your mood taking over from you, that's when you need to step into action and you need to take control. And I'd like you to do that. Figure out why you feel the way you do and then say, okay, what can I do now to control that? Reach out, therapy, friends, family. Be the change. Stop waiting for someone to come over, put their arm around you and say, oh, it's okay. You're going to be okay. I'm going to make it all better. No, you are the one that is going to make it better. You are the one who is your own mental health advocate. If you're not finding the right help somewhere, go somewhere else. But I want you to be your own mental health advocate and take care of your mental health. You're going to feel a lot better. You honestly will. And it starts today. It starts right now. It starts with 1 or 2 steps. It starts with just taking that first step, saying, I'm in charge now. Now, you may not feel better right away or tomorrow or next week, but with each little step, you come closer to your goal. And we're all trying to take this journey together. Reach out. Definitely reach out. There are so many therapies now that are available online that are expensive usually, but in a lot of provinces now, the government is paying for them, putting as part of your health. And a lot of companies have health plans that include therapy, mental health therapy. The EAP program, most large companies or larger companies have it, or most health plans have it. So the employee assistant program, and you can reach out for help secretly and quietly, without anyone knowing, without your boss even knowing. Your boss doesn't know that you're reaching out for therapy. That's what the EAP program is for. So take a look in your health insurance and see what it does cover. Enjoy the present, not enjoy the Christmas present. Enjoy the present. Enjoy now. Whatever the weather is, enjoy it. Even if it's a stormy day, it's kind of cool. But enjoy the present. Enjoy where you are right now, in the moment. Don't worry about tomorrow, next week. Things may be tough. Where's your rent going to come from next month? Food bills are piling up. Other bills are piling up. But every once in a while, you need to give yourself a break. No matter how bad things get, you need to say, I'm alive. I can breathe. I'm warm. So enjoy the present, whatever you can. I love, all the conversation going on. I'm seeing it off to the side, and I promise you, we're gonna get more of the conversation, a lot of your comments on. So stay with me. Probably in a few minutes, we'll do that. So right now we are talking about mental health at the holidays, and all December. That's what we are attacking. We are helping you to enjoy the Christmas season. We're putting the merry back into Christmas. In fact, that's the name of the podcast coming up. And in fact, let's have a listen again to Margaret Eaton, who is the CEO of the Canadian Association of.
I feel a little bit that because of COVID-19, maybe we could have lowered expectations. We're trying to celebrate in a pandemic. In Toronto, we can't go shopping at our favorite stores anymore. So is there a way that we can make Christmas smaller and take off some of that pressure, recognizing that the most important thing is that we stay healthy right now, not that we try to aspire to the Christmas of 2019 that we're just not going to experience in 2020. So can we take this opportunity then to set realistic expectations for what we can do for ourselves and our family at this time?
One great thing that you can do, and it's we've talked about it many times before, and why, is to help at this time, is to reach out, and if you have a mental health issue, or you have a mood disorder, you're depressed, you're anxious, you're stressed out, a lot of times reaching out to help someone else makes you feel like you're taking control, because you are. It makes you feel good because you're helping someone. The other thing quite often that it does is it says to you, you know what? Maybe things aren't as bad for me as they are for someone else. So I'm helping someone. I'm helping someone have a good Christmas. I wanted to team up with a charity this month. And I think I found a good one. I wanted to team up with a charity that help families, give them a Christmas. There's lots of incredible charities out there, and if you choose not to help me with this one, that's fine. Reach out to any other charity. But I found this one charity. It's very grassroots, and it was started by two young ladies. One was in high school at the time, and her sister was in university at the time. High school and university. That was 23 years ago that they started an organization that is called Holiday Helpers. HolidayHelpers.org is their website. So I'm teaming up with them this year. What they do is they provide for families, hundreds of families, clothing, if needed, a Christmas meal and extra food, a Christmas tree complete with decorations, presents for the kids, and maybe some needed items. They fill out wish lists from different families. I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's called Holiday Helpers. And earlier today, I talked with one of the founders. She was the young lady who was in high school at the time she helped found this. Her name is Sarah Rutka, and I want to say hi to her and to her sister April, who keep this going. And I hope this is the beginning of an organization that will be around for a long, long time. And they do this to help other people, but you know what? This is where de-stressing and de-anxietizing, trying to get rid of your anxiety comes into play. Because, yeah, they help someone, but look what they get out of it.
Yeah, we actually had another story of a lady today. She was actually helped by Holiday Helpers about 15 years ago. So she was a little girl, and her mom had fled her husband. It was an abusive relationship, and it was just her and her mom, and they were starting out. And anyway, she's come back now to volunteer. She's now an adult, and she just talks about how much that Christmas was so special for them. She got a Barbie and a new snowsuit, and she just remembers that Christmas as being such a magical when her mom was so happy that Christmas. I guess previously, she had some tough Christmases, and she was just so happy, and she would, now that she was an adult, she wanted to give back, and so she came back to Holiday Helpers, and she's wraps in her warehouse a couple days every month. So yeah, there's some really great stories of giving back.
Holiday Helpers teaming up with a Happy Molecule to help some needy families and help you. Good mental health to you this Christmas. So we ask you to listen to the Happy Molecule podcast. That is by downloading it and subscribing to it. I really appreciate that. And donate to holidayhelpers.org/donate. In fact, since I put this up, already $200 has been raised. And so I invite you to do that. Very easy. In fact, on my Facebook page, if you're watching Facebook Live right now, there's a donate button right there. But holidayhelpers.org, I'm going to put it on my website. I meant to do that today. I forgot. I'm going to put an easy donate button on my website, which is thehappymolecule.com. But we're going to be working together all December long. One of the problems they're having is volunteers. A lot of these organizations and a lot of these soup kitchens and homeless organizations and that, they got a lot of, in fact, they got a lot of times during Christmas, they turn people away for volunteers because they got too many. It's just what people were doing. But that was before COVID. Now they got a lot of their people from companies and groups and organizations that made it a team building exercise, and they came out, well, the businesses, everybody's working from home, so they're not getting together. By the way, if you're one of the people who did go out to help, maybe you get your folks together, get your team together and say, what can we do to help people? But I'm going to go down on Wednesday. I have some time on Wednesday, so I'm going to go down on Wednesday to help wrap some toys and perhaps deliver some. Parker has volunteered as well. He just doesn't know it. And so he is going to be helping as well. So they're looking for volunteers. So go to that website. Once again, it's holidayhelpers.org. And please, please donate, and donate your time as well, because that will make you feel better. It will. What else did I want to cover? I think that's a lot of what I wanted to cover today. The other thing, too, is, you know what? I'm not much of a church person anymore. I was raised Catholic, became very disillusioned with it, but so it's not like church is a place to go for me. But I would encourage you, if perhaps, even if you're not a religious person, consider church this Christmas. And of course, it's going to be virtual. There's going to be the masses are all, well, masses, there's a Catholic in me. So the services, masses are all virtual, but all the more reason to join, because it gives you a sense of community, inspiration, the music, the atmosphere. You might find something. Do you remember when you were a kid? I remember when I was a kid, the first time I ever went to midnight mass. That was magical. Oh my gosh, that was magical. I think back to that right now, and it was such a pleasant, happy memory. I mean, a little kid being up at midnight, for one thing. But I remember that right at midnight, the bells started ringing, and the choir just burst into joy to the world. Just burst into it. And the procession came down, and I remember I think it was a bishop. He was all dressed in whites and golds. And it was such a magical time, such a wonderful time, such a feeling of community. It's amazing. I was thinking to myself of just starting a church without religion. Can I do that? Just where you come in and you have inspirational. It'd be like a TED Talk. Be like a TED Talk. And you know what? I'm thinking about this. You could serve wine without a license, right? Just thinking. But wouldn't it be, I think it would be great to have a place that you can go that just gets inspiration. We all believe different things. It doesn't make anybody more right than anybody else. So I'm just thinking out loud. I got to stop doing that. You hear all the things rattling around in my head. All right, I want to get to some of your comments here. So I'm going to go back a bit, just pick out some of these. Let me see. Paula, we only get 6 sessions a year on our EAP program. I'm grateful for those who require more. We wait till the next fiscal year. Now, Paula, keep in mind that depending on where you live, if you live in Ontario, I think Manitoba, I think BC, I'm not sure. I want you to investigate. There are a lot of governments that are now paying for therapy, mental health therapy, and thank God they have. Universal health care. Why do we stop at mental health? I don't understand that. Mental health and your physical health, your biological health are all one and the same thing. But why do we stop and say that therapy shouldn't be paid for universally? But now it is in a lot of cases. Take advantage. There are some waiting times for some of these programs. While you're waiting, keep joining us here on the Happy Molecule, because you're a member of this family. You're proud. You can be a member of this family. And that. Let me see. Yes, Marie, the Forest of Nature is now my church. Good for you. Good for you. No better cathedral. I will tell you that. Let me see. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Charity. Yes. All right. Charity. I'm going to put this on. She's been talking about it several times, but she has talked about it several times over the last few months. A friend of mine who I consider family had a baby boy, weighed in at 9.8 pounds, very healthy. Mom is doing great. Congratulations. Congratulations. What else do we have here? I'm going to get to some. If you wanted to bring up any of the other topics we talked about a little bit earlier, please bring them up. Negativity, no. We're not looking for negativity. I know I went on a little bit about the gentleman who had the restaurant who was arrested out in the West End of Toronto, but there was a point to that. I don't want to dwell on anything negative. We get enough negative, enough bad news. Let me see. Melissa, thanks for this. It's been so helpful. I think she's talking about the show, or she may have been in a conversation with someone, but either way, definitely. You're welcome. You know, I got a little miff this week from news organizations. Every day they do breaking news. Here are the number of COVID cases, record number of cases, record number of deaths. There's this, there's that. There's one day in particular in which they had released the numbers, but there was also some good news in there, and that was that the number of positive results was significantly lower. They did more tests and a lot less results. That should have been the headline. Why was that not the beginning? We have enough bad news. We know it's bad. I'm not asking you to candy coat it, but to my friends in the media, we need good news too. So when, yes, we're hearing about vaccines and things like that, but you know what? We need good news too. And we need it to hear it as much as the bad news, if not more. We used to have a saying, if it bleeds, it leads. And we loved having bad news as our top news story, and our headline had to be bad news, and somebody did something wrong, somebody did something bad. There's good news out there. There's a lot of good news out there. My advice to you, and this was the advice I gave, because I said, what can I do to control that? I can't control the media. I tried my hardest when I was in the media to try and bring as much good news to the forefront as I could. But what I could do was use my platform. So I went to Twitter and I admonished the media for doing this and said, listen, just give us some good news. And then I let it go. And at the same time, I'm telling everybody, turn off your news alerts. Watch the news or listen to the news or read the news once a day, 10, 15 minutes. Get yourself up to date. I agree that you need to be kept up to date. And then turn it off for the rest of the day. Turn it off. It's going to be bad news no matter what. So 15-minute update, and then turn it off. And all your breaking news alerts and things like that, if those are really getting to you, turn them off. You don't have to have them. The world's going to move on without you knowing this bad news that's breaking right now. Don't keep giving yourself more things to worry about and be stressed about. Let me see. Marie says, yes, so true. Turn off the news. Let me see. Okay. All right. What else are people talking about? I gave us something else. I want to hear about how you feel. How do you feel? First of all, we're going to spend the next couple of minutes. How do the holidays make you feel? Okay. How do the holidays make you feel? I want to know how the holidays make you feel. And let's not forget to mark December 18th on our calendar because it is Paula's birthday. Paula Barton's birthday on the 18th. All right, so how do the holidays make you feel? Let me see. Okay, so Charity, happy and sad. Oh, great. You know what? Look, here's Pam. Ever since you gave the advice in the spring of watching the news once per day, that's what I've done, and it's helped. Good. I'm glad. See, I feel lonely in a crowded room. Yeah, you can. But that's where you can take control, right? You feel lonely in a crowded room. Why do you feel lonely in a crowded room? Is it because you're sitting there and you're not making the effort, or have you been ostracized for some reason? I don't know. Figure it out and try and change that. Let me see. Matthew, my buddy Matthew Amos, feeling good. I love Matthew. Let me see. I'm going to read this one here. So I had to help my mom move to a higher level of care in her home. So I got my COVID test negative and used the last 2 weekends getting her moved, driving nearly 1,500 kilometers. She's in Kingston. My thanks to the staff at the Waterford in Kingston. I know the Waterford people. I know that my mother-in-law was at the Waterford up in Barrie. A very good place. And they will take good care of her. And good for you, 1,500 kilometers. Good for you. Let me see. Sad from what was to what is now. Sandy, explain that to me. Now, Carolyn, tough for me. Husband died 18 months ago. This is especially tough for people at Christmas time when they've lost a loved one. And it doesn't matter that it was 18 months ago. Christmas time is a reminder of good times you had with that person. That's when people get together. Carolyn, our thoughts are with you. We take some of that weight off your shoulders. I want you to know that. It's not going to make it all better, but just, I hope, knowing you're not alone. Karen, good for you. Mostly at peace and grateful. Well, There we go. Mostly at peace and grateful. That's great. Okay, so share. Share. If it makes you feel wonderful, can you share here why it makes you feel wonderful? Mary, blah and stressed. Blah is one of the worst things to be. You have no motivation. You don't feel good. It's depression, basically. Blah is just a four-letter word for depression. Four-letter word, B-L-A-H. Yes, okay, it's a four-letter word for depression. I struggle from the 10th to the 12th. Okay, why, Patricia? Was there someone you had lost between the 10th and the 12th? I'm watching Home Alone. Love the holidays. Lisa, why? Please help me out here. Diana says, I love the holidays. I focus on family and togetherness, and I love decorating. I can't stand decorating. Oh, sorry, but I did it for you. Well, Parker helped me. Maggie helped me. There we go. Did it for you. See the little stockings? Little Parker stocking, little Kevin stocking. Anne is happy and enjoying making gifts. I've got to stop thinking that everybody's depressed who's watching this show. Or else I'm going to put you into a depression. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And you know what? This is where we need a community, right? If you're feeling really good, reach out and help someone. In fact, when you see someone here who's given a comment that is showing them lonely, could you please reach out to them for me? I would really appreciate it. I have mixed feelings for the holidays. My mom passed away December 22nd, 2007. Every Christmas, I think about her passing away so close to Christmas. I love giving family members gifts. I love the extra time to spend with family. Yeah, it is tough. It is tough, isn't it, to have lost someone? So I hope you're dealing with it. If you have lost someone, it is healthy to grieve, and it's healthy to be sad from time to time and missing them. That's healthy. That's okay. It's when it becomes overbearing and overpowering and overwhelming. That's when you really need to say, okay, I need some help. So it's okay. You have to know when it's okay to be sad. That's one of the times it's okay to be sad once in a while. Diana, you're going to make me cry. I shed a tear when I hang my mom's ornaments on my tree. Ethel, this year I'll be alone, but I'll have TV and my books. You know what I want to do? I want to do a Facebook Live show on Christmas, but I don't know if it should be Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Probably Christmas Day, right? That might be good. Tammy, feel wonderful with the Christmas decor, sad without the whole family, but message every day to them, looking for the best days to come. That's fantastic. Let me see. Oh, Kelly. Yeah. Kelly's had a rough year right now. So everybody reach out to Kelly. Let me see. I decorated my back balcony, says Teresa, early this year to make me happy because I was feeling sad. Whatever you can do to put lights outside, can you do that? Make other people feel happy? I've really noticed a sort of fewer Christmas lights this year. I mean, we don't have the businesses as well that are all open and decorating for Christmas. Some of them don't feel like decorating. So whatever you can do. Diana, just another day with a little more cooking. Here's what I think about cooking at Christmas time. I think it's wonderful that you do that for your family. And if you do it together as a family, it is wonderful. But when cooking becomes a problem, when the turkey just doesn't seem to be done on time and we're waiting, or you've burned something, when cooking is part of the stress, that's when you need to rethink and retool. So what I do is I get one of those frozen Butterball pre-stuffed turkey breasts. Okay, I know it sounds terrible, doesn't it? Oh, Kevin, you may as well just get Spam. No, it's still really good. But you know what you do with it? You leave it in the freezer. And it's yay big. You leave it in the freezer, and then 4 hours or 5 hours before you cook, or you eat, I should say, you turn on your oven, you throw it in there. Literally throw it in the oven, frozen, like this bowling ball. You throw it in there. And then about half an hour before, you make the potatoes, you make some gravy. That's it. Bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a Christmas dinner. And you're not spending all the time in the kitchen. You're not wondering when it's going to be done. So take some stress off yourself. That's what you can do. Once you have started, you've stopped and you try to figure out, am I feeling stressed at Christmas? You start writing them down. Well, what can I do to take that piece of stress off? What can I do to take that piece of stress off of me? Let me see. I'm going to catch up with some of these comments here. Let me see. Calvin. Yeah, Calvin driving a truck, so he keeps moving the best he can. Let me see. Who haven't I heard from? Give me someone new. I want to tell me that you're new, and tell me how you feel about Christmas. I'd like to get some of the new folks on here. Let me see. Coming to be with my daughter, and just the two of us, staying with her until April. Just need to be with each other and support each other through these times. There's going to be an end to this, by the way, folks. There is going to be an end to the COVID isolation. It will happen. It's coming. It will. It will. This is not forever. And if it, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I hope this does make it stronger. Yeah, you know what? I've done one of those. It's good. It's good. And there's no bones to clean up afterwards. So, yes, it's very good. Let me see. What else? I'm new. So, Carrie, how do you feel? Carrie, how do you feel about Christmas? New, Lynn Marie. Annoyed, LOL. Okay, it sounds like you're taking it in stride. I like that. Eileen says, I can't see all my grandkids. And yeah, it's a tough time because Christmas is all about kids, right? Isn't it? It's all about kids. Don't forget about the seniors. Don't forget about the seniors as well, right? They live vicariously through younger folk. And if they can't get out, they can't see anybody this Christmas, it's going to be especially tough for them. Cameron, I'm new. Yes, Cameron, I know you. That's well. So you're new here to the Facebook Live show. Thank you and welcome, Cameron. Hold on. Actually, Love Actually is a non-Christmas movie that I love. Yes, there are some great. Okay, Parker and I watched Fat Man yesterday. Mel Gibson. I expected it to be horrible. It was horrible and violent, but I enjoyed it. But it's definitely not a movie for the kids or faint of heart. I'm just in. This is my first Christmas where I won't be working. Yes, congratulations. That's good. That's good. So take that, because there's nothing worse than working on a holiday, is there? Isn't there? Let me see. This year I felt so different, says Tammy. I love having family over and just spending time with them. Yeah, it's going to be different this year. So what can you do to make it good different? Starting a different, a different tradition. Getting together on Zoom, having a games night, things like that. Yes, Calvin, no turkey soup. No. You have your turkey dinner, you have some leftovers, and you move on. And then you can buy some turkey soup. Let me see. Carrie, I'm excited. No gift buying, no parties, no family pressures. Ordering Chinese and doing a Cards Against Humanity online game with some friends. There you go. I like that. You didn't mention anything about red wine there, but I'm assuming that's in there somewhat. Let me see. I'm writing out a few Christmas cards, says Sandy. To seniors in a retirement home, a lady from Barrie is organizing this. Oh, pass on the message. Pass on the message. Very first listen, says Brenda. Well, welcome, Brenda. Mixed feelings about Christmas. Hate all the commercialism. Yeah. Also puts a lot of expectations on people to have the perfect holiday. Isn't it true? Isn't it true that your tree has to be perfect? Christmas Vacation is probably the ideal Christmas movie because they have all these expectations and it shows you, what happens. What happens. What was I was going to say Die Hard's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Let me see. I am new. Okay, here we go. I'm new and trying to talk to you is like trying to talk to my wife of 35 years. I give up. I'm sorry, James. I know it goes like crazy. But James, as you're talking, other people here on the comments are talking as well. And folks, talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst each other. That's what the Happy Molecule is about. It's built on community. We're all a community. We're all in this together. We're happy, we're sad together. And we work together. Let me see. I am new. I love Christmas. My husband and I put up the decorations early, and we put up a lot more Christmas lights to make the world brighter. Good, yeah. We try to connect with our family via house party and online games. And let me see. I'm just trying to think of more. Yes, okay, look at this. Charity. Perfect is in the eye of the beholder. Very true. You don't have to be perfect in someone else's eyes. You just have to be perfect in your own eyes. You enjoying yourself? Then that's great. Diana was asking me about the lid wipes. Do you know what, Diana? I found out why I was getting infections in my eyes. It was an allergy. So I took some allergy med until the allergy went away, and that was it. It was the weirdest thing, though. I've never had allergies in the eyes before. It was almost like my tears turned to acid, and it was horrible. But yeah, it turned out to be an allergic. It looked like it was allergic. All right, Matthew, I'm going to argue with you. Die Hard is, in fact, a Christmas movie. It is. End of argument. There you go. Okay, a couple more, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Realistic Christmas is just letting family and others know that you are there and sharing the love. Now, let's remind you about the podcast. I hope that you're sharing the word, by the way. This will be available for a download on Tuesday. This week, we have our week 1 of Battling the Holiday Blues. So I'm going to be talking with the CEO from CAMH as well. More good ideas and advice for getting through this season. More taking this journey together. December is going to be a journey for all of us, so we're going to do it together, one step at a time, hand in hand, together. We're going to get through this season. If it's a tough season for you, you've got friends here, because you know what? What is fantastic is that I made that assumption, right? That everybody doesn't like Christmas like me, but so many people love it. So you're in a community in which some people love it and some people don't. And for those of you who don't, then I want the people who love it to reach out and to help each other. That's who we have, right? That's really who we have. By just letting someone know that you are here is sometimes more than enough. If you're feeling in crisis, by the way, in fact, one time this month we are going to talk about suicide. I know it's not a very Christmassy topic, but sadly it's something that does increase during Christmas in thoughts of suicide. And there's a brand new study that is being undertaken right now. I'm going to be talking to one of the lead researchers on this study. And it's something we all need to know. Not just people who have had suicidal thoughts, not people who live with someone, or even yourself if you feel that way. But the study is so eye-opening and tells us so much about our mental health and how important it is. So yes, we will be discussing that a little later on in this month. We're also going to be talking to a group in England that helped spearhead a brand new government ministry, the Ministry of Loneliness. Yes, the federal government in the UK has a Minister of Loneliness. That's how serious it is. That's how important it is. So we're going to be talking about loneliness as well this month. So we have some tough issues, some heavy issues to talk about, but we got to put a positive spin on it. We got to look at them positively. We got to look at ways for us to take control. Be your own mental health advocate. Don't forget as well that we want you to help support Holiday Helpers, Adopting a Family. Very simple. holidayhelpers.org, or go on my Facebook page. There's a link there to a donation. holidayhelpers.org/donate. And let's help give family a Christmas that might not get. Now, holidayhelpers.org, if you're just joining us, is an organization that has been around for 23 years, and they provide families who need it with a Christmas tree, with food for Christmas, with clothing if they need it, and with presents for the kids, wrapped or unwrapped, whichever they prefer. So I want to thank everybody who has donated already to it, and for those who are still to donate. I hope you can do that. I'm trying to see what our donations are up to right now. We were up to $200 when I went on the air. I can't see it here. Okay. But please, I invite you to do that and to volunteer. I'm going there on Wednesday to volunteer. They're out at 1880 the Queensway, right across from Sherway in the old Home Outfitters store there. So I'm going out there Wednesday to help out. They need help all this month. And there is something on that site as well for you to find out about volunteering. Please check out my website, which is thehappymolecule.com. I'll be putting out another blog tomorrow. There's a blog there. There's links to the podcast. Anybody here yet still don't know how to get to a podcast? Anyone? Because if you do, it's okay. You know, a lot of people just assume, oh, everybody knows how to get to a podcast. If you have any trouble at all getting to a podcast, go to the Happy Molecule. Go to thehappymolecule.com. There is a link right there. In fact, it may pop up in front of you. I'm trying to keep everything to a minimum of the pop-ups, but I thought that would be handy. So I made the website so it pops up and it says, take me right there. Go to my website, thehappymolecule.com. If you want, you can go to thehappymolecule.com/podcast, and it'll bring you to the podcast. They are doing incredibly well, and I want to thank you for that. I'm always begging you to tell people about them and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. But we saw week over week, from week 1 to week 2, a 27% increase in downloads. Thank you for that, and I hope it keeps up. So the Happy Molecule is something for you, and I hope something that will be an important part of your family, and you're now part of this family. That, I guess, is it for this evening, for this Facebook Live. This is the Happy Molecule Extra. Just to let you know the difference between the Happy Molecule and the Happy Molecule Extra. Happy Molecule Extra is the website and this Facebook Live show. That's extra. Those are the companion pieces to the Happy Molecule podcast. You can also go to my YouTube channel if you want to watch the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe there as well. That's just go to YouTube and search Kevin Frankish channel. If you want to, it's youtube.com/c/Kevin Frankish channel. So you can see them there as well. That's it for this evening. It was a beautiful day here in Southern Ontario as well. What can you do to take a breath? In fact, right now, here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity right now, after a busy day, a busy time, to give yourself 5 minutes. And just for 5 minutes, turn off your phone, turn off your computer, shut the door. You deserve it. And just take a breath. Listen to whatever sounds are around. And you know what? If there's noise from the family, or there's noise from outside of that, just say, oh, thank God I'm not part of that right now. I'm just going to let myself relax. Let your heart beat. Our hearts quite often do need that time to relax. Our hearts need that time to say, oh, you have no concerns. Remember I was saying how I loved Christmas Day because it was so quiet and peaceful? Your heart loves it when you are quiet and peaceful, even if it's just for 5 minutes. So find yourself 5 minutes. Set an alarm during the day. Steal yourself 5 minutes here and there. Let's get through December, and let's make it a good December. Because you know what? Then we got to deal with January and February. But we'll deal with that when it comes. No use worrying about that right now. We're dealing with December, and we're doing it well, my friends. So until next time, and don't forget, you can download the podcast starting on Tuesday. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.